Hey everybody, thank you for stopping by. So today's brief video is all about beef brisket. Now, a few weeks ago, I stumbled across a video by Jeremy Yoder on his Mad Scientist BBQ channel on YouTube, and I'll put a link to that in the description. And the title was something like Aaron Franklin's secret ingredient for his brisket or something like that. Now, quick disclaimer, I have never been to Franklin's BBQ in Austin, Texas, but I have heard great things about it. I pretty much just assume it's the gold standard, and I have been chasing kind of like that perfect brisket ever since I heard of Aaron Franklin's, and I don't really know now why I do that because I don't know what it tastes like. But anyways, I just assume it's amazing. So when I saw this video link, I went ahead and just clicked on it. And basically, Jeremy noted that when you go to Franklin's and they pull the briskets out of those warming chambers or warming ovens, that the butcher paper that it's wrapped in is always completely soaked through in grease. So what he thought was maybe for Franklin's BBQ that somewhere during that cooking process or right before the wrapping that they actually cover up that butcher paper with beef tallow. And then in wrapping it that way and then finishing the cook, it allows all that moisture, all that stuff to work its way back into the brisket, and it's like super tender and juicy, all that good stuff. And when I watched that video, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And of course for Jeremy, it did make sense. After he cooked it, he tested both and he said, yeah, it definitely seems like the one with beef tallow came out a little bit more flavorful, more juicy, more tender. And so I've been sitting on that and just thinking about it. I even ordered some beef tallow because I want to try it at some point sooner than later. But then I stumbled upon the Slap Yo Daddy BBQ channel, which is Harry Sue, another pitmaster, champion, really informative videos. If you haven't checked it out, definitely recommend it. Also, links in the description. But he ended up trying to do the same thing. So he took what Jeremy did on his channel and he took his brisket, he sliced it in half down the middle, which I haven't seen it done before, but he sliced it down the middle and basically cooked up one with the beef tallow and one without. And his findings were similar, that the one with the beef tallow did come out a little bit more tender, a little bit more juicy. And it sounds like he's doing like a bunch of these different videos. I think he just posted a second one, which I haven't watched all the way through. But nevertheless, so with these two major data points, I was like, okay, I definitely want to try it. So I got my hands on a beef brisket this weekend, and I went ahead and cut that thing down the middle, which is, again, something I've never done before, and don't know if I would do again in the future. But anyways, I hit them both with salt, pepper, a little bit of smoked paprika, threw them in the Oklahoma Joe's offset with some post oak wood going, kept it between 250, 275, and pulled them right when the bark set, which the internal temp was about 160, 165. As you can see here, I went ahead and put it on top of the butcher paper and I kind of lathered up that piece of butcher paper with the melted beef tallow and went ahead and wrapped everything back up, threw it back in the smoker. And the other one I just wrapped up, and just like I normally would, I don't think I even spritzed it with anything, and just go ahead and wrapped it up and put it back in the smoker as well. So once these two finished, I unwrapped both, cut them up, got into them, and I will say this, I wouldn't say this is fully definitive, and I'll tell you why in a second, but based on my initial findings, I would say to add a third data point to all of this. So if you've watched Jeremy Yoder's channel and you watched Harry Sue's, I would say I would offer you a third data point and say that the beef tallow does make a difference. The brisket that was cooked along with the beef tallow and that butcher paper for that last part of the cook was definitely juicier, a little bit more flavorful. And I don't mean it like it was very greasy or juicy on the outside. It just seemed like the entire brisket bite seemed to be more flavorful. And so I would definitely recommend trying that if you haven't already and you've been thinking about it. I'm definitely gonna try it again, but this time I don't think I'm gonna cut the brisket in half because even though I tried to trim it as evenly as possible, one side of the brisket definitely had more of that seam fat all the way through. And so one side cooked a little bit faster than the other. And so just because it was like a 45, actually it was about an hour difference, I just feel like I can't give you like a straight up definitive answer and say, oh no, the beef tallow is the thing that made all the difference, because it felt like they were slightly different, or they were different cuts enough to possibly affect the outcome. So my hope is to get my hands on two full packers, just like Jeremy Yoder's video, and try and cook them side by side and go with that. Hey, if you're local to Oakland and you wanna sponsor a full packer brisket and drop it off with me, let's talk. I will definitely be happy. I'll front one brisket, you front the other. We'll do a tallow and we'll do a naan and we'll split it, and yeah, we'll split it. It'll be awesome. Anyhow, if you have tried the beef tallow method and you have similar findings, please drop it in the comments below. Let me know how it goes. Maybe I missed something and didn't do it right, but let me know in there. And if you've ever cut a brisket down the middle, and you have successfully cooked it that way, let me know too, because I couldn't make that happen. It felt like the thinner parts definitely dried out a lot quicker. And so I feel like if it was all together, I probably would have had a better cook overall. So anyhow, thanks for stopping by. Hope you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like and subscribe, comment below, and we will see you next time. Who's smoking?